Welcome to the Business Benchmark Group podcast, where you'll learn how to think strategically about your business and discover that while business is not easy, it doesn't need to be hard. With over 20 years experience in turning stalling businesses into thriving enterprises, here is your host, Stefan, the founder and CEO of Business Benchmark Group.
Hi, I'm Stefan from Business Benchmark Group. In this next podcast, we're going to be sharing just the fundamentals, the basics of the most successful business model in the world, regardless of industry, regardless of size. It all comes down to how do we actually build a repeat and referral based business? How do we do that? So in fairness, it's really simple. It's an attitude. It comes down to the consistency of consistently really being clear about what is it that our clients really want. How is it that we go and give it to them with precision, with accuracy, with confirmation that what we actually set out to give them and or provide to them, we actually did? And then are we being focused and committed to giving it to them every other time, and by virtue of that, getting better at that, which builds the reputation for them continuously wanting to come back and get more, ultimately known as the repeat and referral based business. So we're going to be sharing, again, straight to the point as to how to build that most successful business model in the world. In fairness, it doesn't matter how much money you throw at this, it needs a healthy dose of attitude. And if you have the right attitude and you are committed to continuous improvement, and that's what we do here at Business Benchmark Group. We help you as we help ourselves here to continuously be improving in whatever we do. The standard today can be a better standard tomorrow. I'm Stefan from Business Benchmark Group. Let's share what it takes to build the most successful business model in the world. Enjoy. Very good. Name me any industry, and I'll find within a week one business that has made $100 million, and I'll show you about 100 that have failed or are at survival street. Any industry. So the critical skills and tools that it takes to grow a business versus the critical skills to create an idea are very different. There's a distinct difference to growing a business as there are to coming up with ideas. Now, a very past mentor of mine taught me one thing. Regardless what you do in business, it's generally a three-part formula. So what I'm just going through right now is what I consider and what we consider at M500 the brain stretch. So I'm just going to stretch your brain a little here so that you get warmed up as to if you're truly focused on growing a referral-based business, what does it actually take? Because I'm yet to meet anyone that has put their hand up to be in business, be on a team that is representing a business and waking up every day saying, today is the day I'm going to deliver shithouse service. I'm yet to meet anyone that will do that, right? I'm yet to meet someone that says, I'm going to go out of my way to sabotage my client's success. But in fairness, there is benchmark and there is a continual growth in being better every other day. And it generally comes to a three-part formula. And the three-part formula, for which, again, I'll credit my early mentor on this, goes like this. Firstly, you must be committed to finding what they want. Secondly, you got to go and get it. And thirdly, you got to give it to them. Now, the critical parts about this formula here is that what they want is ultimately what is their pain, what is their need, what is their ultimate point of frustration. And when we think about the they, who are they, by the way? They are the customers that you choose to serve. And in any industry, there are niches. And it's going to be interesting and really enlightening to hear our champion in business, Marcus Theodore from C2 Films, talk about he could have filmed anything and he could be really busy filming anything and everything. But he has chosen a very specific group of they, for which they have an actual frustration. They have a pain, they have a need, they have an itch. So it is so important in business, if you want to win in the game of business, to be ultimately very committed and focused and disciplined to keep on going deep and not wide with who it is that you wish to serve. Find their needs and do whatever it takes to go and get it. The going and getting it is ultimately building the team. Because if you're on your own, then all you got is a glorified job. If you're building a business, you've got to go and get it by helping a business and a team deliver the goods to many more people. Because you can't be the reason why, if you've got the solution sorted, if you figured out what their pain was, it's up to you to go and get it. And that is building resources. It's ultimately delivering a solution with products and services. That is the go and get it aspect of this formula. You cannot just say, oh, no, I don't want to serve anymore because, I'm sort of, I don't want to be anything larger, so I'm going to stop helping people in terms of what we have a solution for. So if you are clear about who they are, then it's your responsibility to keep on growing it. Go and get it is about building a team, delivering the product and service consistently every single time. The give it to them is about the systems, the structure, and ultimately the synergy of continual growth. The give it to them is also about the marketing. Because let's just agree in this room that many of you are a well-kept secret. You've gone right out of your way to stop building relationships, which is marketing, by the way. You've stopped building strategic relationships. You've stopped, I guess, getting advantage out of the brilliant service and product that you deliver from the tribe that believe in you to help you grow your business, which is, I guess, on theme today, we're talking about how to grow a referral-based business. And most importantly, through our study over the last 6 months and having interviewed and worked through various strategies with our clients, almost 100 clients were part of this study. It's quite interesting to see, and every one of you will be receiving the white paper at the end of today in terms of what we saw as the reason why many benchmark businesses don't receive anywhere near the amount of referrals they should. But ultimately, there's 3 parts to business success. Always be clear about who it is that you serve and what it is that they need. Always be committed to never being in the way of growing that opportunity and the resource and the structure for growth. Keep on going and building the team that delivers that solution and that product, and consistently market, build relationships, build your systems. Every time you grow your business, there is going to be a new level of systemization that's needed to make it predictable so that it's not just up to you. Does that make sense? It's a 3-part formula. The second and most important component to building a business that lasts way longer than you, to building a legacy business. Now, some of you may not even have flirted with the idea of what would it look like if I built a legacy business? What would it look like if I built a business where everyone that came to do business with me wasn't just looking for me? Now, I know for some of you that might be a bit heartbreaking that you may not be the number one person in your business anymore. But let me just say, if you're in business, it's the ultimate destiny of your business is to build something that's not just about you. It's about leveraging in other people's time, for which if you do that well, you get enough trust and reputation and relevance for which people give you their money to keep on doing business with you. So other people's money and other people's time is critical, but the most important thing you need to understand as you progress in business is other people's networks. And if you are not attractive, in other words, if you are not successful, then I'm going to hesitate in introducing you to anyone. If you don't demonstrate success, relevance, and reputation, there is no chance anybody's going to be introducing you. Does that make sense? Other people's network from a leverage point cannot happen unless you keep on raising the bar of being brilliant. Cannot happen without having a consistent flow of delivering your goods and services to a target market that ultimately needs it. There's 3 points of selling propositions. There's 3 points of making you having the divergence factor, the difference factor that keeps you ahead of or in the minority of an industry. The first one is, what is your unique selling proposition? What is your compelling tagline, and how does that demonstrate who you are, who you do it for, and why it is important for people to knock on your door? What are your 5 to 7 words that make you unique and ultimately you can deliver? What is your emotional selling proposition? How is it that you tap into what is the emotional needs and requirements and urgent frustrations of your target market, and how are you tapping in with the appropriate words and ultimately the appropriate actions, which ultimately equals congruency? See, what I say and what I do, if I'm coaching my clients, if I'm coaching my team, which is my number one assignment right now, coaching and growing my team is the most important thing for me in my business right now. Why is that? Because if I coach and train them, then we're going to be able to serve 100, 200, 1,000, 5,000 across the 7 cities that we will in terms of physical location in the next 7 years. If I'm just focused on just committing to my book and looking after my book, which is not my number one responsibility anymore, then I've got a problem. But if we're not doing it from connecting into our client base, connecting into our team base, connecting into our supply chain from an emotional selling proposition, then you're not going to get far. Emotional selling proposition is where you build relationships. It's where you are relevant. It's where you are attractive. It's where you get the first or second or third invite to an event that only has 10 seats in the room. Does that make sense? You're on people's top 5 list, circle of influence. Emotional selling proposition. You must make this a big part of the game. If you truly want to build a business that's a legacy business. So it's one thing to be unique and having a really cool marketing strategy. It's another thing to deliver it. And this is where business is won and lost. Ultimately, as you get good at delivering what you say you would and tapping into the emotional selling proposition that makes you definitely different, you have your element of divergence. What comes then is a tribe, your customer selling proposition. Don't listen to what I say, listen to what they say. Here are the bunch of case studies, testimonials, and can I just say, I've yet to see a really bad testimonial on anyone's website. Would you agree? So don't worry about testimonials, guys. They're the 1980s ways of doing things. It's case studies. It's tribal selling proposition. It's client selling proposition, community selling proposition. What are you doing to ensure that through your hard work and efforts, you're building a tribe? And your tribe can only be 5 people to begin with. At some point, it might be 500 and 5,000. But what are you doing to lead, create a movement in your industry? Now, for some of you, be thinking, I don't think I can do that in my industry. And I'm here to say you've got to think again. Because if you truly want to build a business that's referable, that's introduction worthy, that's competent and trustworthy, authentic and genuine, for which there are no kickbacks and there are just gratitude, and the more of the more of the more, the law of reciprocity kicks in, for which givers gain. If you want to build that sort of business, then you've got to make sure that your client and community selling proposition is high. So how many case studies do you have available in your business right now? And if you don't, what could you be doing to build at least one in the next 30 days? Is that cool? Hi, I'm Stefan Kazakis, and I truly hope you enjoyed, again, a sharp and to the point message around building that most successful business model, known as the repeat and referral based business model. Ultimately, how cool, and for the life of me, I remember the early stages in my journey of becoming that business owner who just didn't really get the grasp of leverage and the importance of that's where the ultimate destination of the greatest businesses always comes from. It comes from that place of how do I ensure that, as we move forward, we divide to multiply. We ultimately can achieve more by doing less, but the more that I do in the business is better than trying to do everything on my own. So the power of team, the power of being really clear on, it takes money to grow money, but it also takes a strong reputation for managing money for others to give you money, otherwise known as banks or financial institutions, and your future customers who would be paying you deposits for your promise of a delivery. The importance of leverage, and the most important point of leverage, other people's networks. The more attractive you are, the more consistent you are, the more loyal and true you are, authentic you are, the greater the networks that open up for you to take a seat on the greatest table. So please, I hope you take what we just shared in this podcast with you for the rest of your life, and keep on being the student. Keep on being the student of continuous improvement, which also leads me to some notes here for everyone to think about. We have an awesome white paper that's just become available on our website, and also on a link that's going to be made accessible to you in terms of how to build an effective referral strategy in your business. You know, our business at Business Benchmark Group has grown and continues to grow. And I want to say an across-the-board thank you and a huge gratitude for every one of you that introduced us to great business owners who need and could and ultimately benefit with our guidance and our assistance and our, push and shove towards their progression. So I want to say a thank you for all the referrals that we receive. However, the white paper on how to build an effective referral strategy in your business is now available. Please make the most of that. We also have a couple of small business Victoria events turning up on August the 8th, which is Wednesday, tomorrow. And we're going to be talking about why scalability matters for your business. I mean, the better you get at scalability, the greater the value of your business, otherwise known as sellability. If you don't have scalability, you'll never have sellability. So a really cool conversation to be shared from our offices here at Doncaster, but it's a small business Victoria sponsored event. So we're fairly privileged to be doing that on their behalf. Also, Board of Directors 12, the next group, the newest group that will be starting in September. Put your hand up if you're in the market for something that's going to keep you on the straight and narrow on your way to your next level of continuous improvement and greatness. For our newest group that started in July, what an awesome momentum you are building, and for everyone in our community, what an unbelievable Your Profit Blueprint event we had, and all the strategic and tactical thinking and ultimately confirmation of every one of your plans. I'm Stefan Kazakis. I'm totally devoted, committed, as is my entire team, to your progression and ultimately where every small business owner can achieve big business success.
For more information about Business Benchmark Group's coaching, education, and training programs, visit businessbenchmarkgroup.com.au or call 039001 0878. If you liked this podcast, please rate it on iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud, and leave feedback as well. Stefan shares so much value in all his podcasts, and we encourage you to go through the archives and listen to other episodes of the Business Benchmark Group podcast. Thank you for listening.